Welcome to Wargroove. In this episode, I'm going to teach you how to play the most rewarding and mechanically difficult commander in Wargroove, Valder, the Fell Savior. Now, I set up these little gimmicks on the side so that I can give Valder groove whenever I want. Valder's groove is the simplest in the game. Raise Dead allows you to create one soldier under your command. The soldier can immediately act. Now, since the soldier is the cheapest and weakest unit in Wargroove, a lot of new players sleep on Valder. But I'm going to walk you through Valder's groove, Valder's uses, how to get groove, and some really high-level plays to show you why Valder is actually one of the top commanders in the game. First things first, did you know that Valder's groove has a range of 10? I'm not even kidding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 squares away, we can hit this archer. This is because Valder can walk 4 squares, summon the soldier 1 square in front of him, we're at 5 now. The soldier can walk 4 squares, we're at 9, and affect something next to it. A range of 10. You can snipe an archer from 10 squares away with Valder's groove. Valder's groove is also amazing for creating new capture paths on maps. By getting a very early groove, Valder can get villages that he's not supposed to be able to get, giving you a huge early economic advantage. Terrain isn't really much of a detriment, since Valder can walk on the terrain, summon a sword freely on the terrain, and then the sword can just keep going. 8 squares away past 2 mountains, no problem. Using Valder's groove, you can snipe valuable units, capture properties early on to get big gold leads, and even defy the terrain with your attacks. Now let's talk about a few more advanced uses of Valder's groove. This village is 5 squares away, but a sword crit will guarantee a kill on a village with 50 health or less. Valder can summon the sword right next to him for a free sword crit, taking out the village. Additionally, you shouldn't sleep on the power of sword crits with Valder. Sword crits can even damage things that swords don't normally attack into, like this knight, for a reasonable amount of gold-efficient damage. For about 100 gold worth of cost, we did 300 gold worth of damage and made this knight useless. Now this is a mistake most people make with Valder. Most people go, well, the sword is free, I can just throw it away for some free damage. After all, it's free, right? Who cares if I attack into this golem? Free damage. Well, that's not really the right way to use Valder's groove. Just having the sword alive is more valuable than that damage. Take a look at this scenario. If I have a bunch of swords saved up from all the times I used Valder's groove, there's no way this golem can attack this trebuchet. The swords act as body blocks and keep it safe. So do not be this Valder. Don't throw away your swords. Keep them safe. Treat them as respectable units, and you can use them to reinforce your position and make amazing plays. Now this is how a late to mid-game Valder should look. As you can see, we have 1 more village than our opponent does. Using the extra sword, even if we couldn't sneakily capture this village early, we could use the pressure of having more units to push our opponent off one of their villages. You see the fire defines the midline here. This is my territory, this is their territory. We stole one of their villages, and we're able to make more expensive units over time using the extra gold. So when up against a really late game commander, like Vesper, you should already be in the lead, using your groove several times to take villages and giving you powerful units, so that even when the late game commander Vesper gets groove, it's too late. There's no stopping your army, and even if they fight you, you'll still have this village, you can still make more expensive units to reinforce, you will win in the end. So when playing Valder, get early leads to get economy. Alright, let's go over some more groove use cases, but first I need to get rid of Valder's groove, so I'm just going to take it all away. How do we get groove with Valder? Well, Valder is a super fast charger. Right now, in patch 2, Valder is the only super fast charger in the game. This means that if Valder kills a unit, notice that this Valder is at 0% groove, Valder will go straight up to 100% groove. This is also true if Valder decaps a village, which is treated as killing a unit. So remember early on, villages are a great source of groove, especially your enemy villages. You can get groove and then walk past them and use the groove to capture them, saving you even more time. Now, when Valder attacks a village or a unit and can't destroy it, Valder receives 40% groove. Additionally, being a super fast charger, Valder gets another 20% at the end of their turn. So 40% plus an additional 20% means you'll end your turn with 60% groove just by attacking a village. Now, I'm going to show you what happens when the enemy attacks you. Now notice we ended our turn, so we got 20% groove, right? If a dog like this suicides into Valder, you'll just get 100% groove. If something attacks you but doesn't get destroyed, you'll only get another 20%. This could be significant. So remember, you get 20% for ending your turn, 20% if something attacks you. But if something attacks you and gets destroyed, lol, you get all your groove. If you destroy something, lol, you get all your groove. If you attack something but don't destroy it, you get 40%. Bump to 60 at the end of your turn. Keep all this in mind because Valder gets groove really easily, but this also means that your opponent will harass you when you're close to getting groove or have it, because there's nothing for them to lose at that point. Alright, let's go through a common Valder scenario. I'm going to end my turn and reset the groove one more time using this handy lever. We're back at 80%, and there's a reason for that. Let's say you're at 80% groove. This is the scenario we were just talking about. You could kill this sword to get 100% groove, but you'd also get 100% groove if you just end your turn, right? 80 plus 20 is 100. Should you attack here for the unit kill or retreat? It's a tough call and depends on the situation, but retreating is often a good option. Zeronic said that the only thing they'd recommend for Valder is keeping your commander healthy, and that's something I agree with, so I created this turn-by-turn scenario to show you why that's important. Let's say instead of retreating here, we go for the sword, we go for the kill, we get baited in. We get groove, but we would have had it anyway. We could have just retreated, built a sword, right? And we'd still be at +1 sword if we had done that. Do we get +2 sword if we engage here? Well, if we engage here like this, the golem's going to smack us, and enemy reinforcements are going to come in. Then we have to go here, reinforce, and heal so we don't die, and the enemies will just keep pushing in on us. Eventually, we have to attack them, but they're more grouped than we are, and it'll be a big bloody war. Also, we reinforced on this turn, attacked on this turn, we never got to use groove. So we're still only +1 sword, exactly the same as if we would have been if we retreated and grooved. So remember, don't make Valder go too far by himself. Keep him healthy at all times, and when you're at 80%, be careful. Your opponent is going to harass you because they have very little to lose from it. Alright, let's look at another scenario here. Valder can attack this village and take it out, or capture this, it could be a tower, a barracks, it doesn't matter. What's the right thing to do? I'm going to show you both scenarios. Let's say that we decide to capture the building property first, the tower. It could also be a barracks. Well, because we chose to capture it, your opponent is going to get gold from this village for 1 turn. On our next turn, we take it out, and that gives us groove. And then on our next turn, we move through it and groove the soldier back to capture the last property. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. But what if we went for the village first? Because we're playing Valder. If we go for the village first, we've taken away 100 gold from our opponent. That's pretty good. Then we move through the village and send the soldier back to capture this property. Then we keep going, and the soldier gets the property too. Now, we missed a turn or two of building, but if it's a tower, it might not matter. If it's a barracks, you can afford to miss 1 turn of building because you've just built a sword. And also, you got a free turn of commander movement. Look at where we are here compared to here. A free turn of commander movement is huge. That's so big. So remember, when you're playing Valder, it's often beneficial to attack something, get groove, and then use the groove for a capture you could have done yourself. This lets Valder stay mobile and go further and make more aggressive attacks. Ultimately, it's more efficient. But remember, it does depend on the circumstances. Finally, just a reminder, swords are amazing. This knight cannot possibly go in on that archer. It will lose the trade, no matter what it does. Just because a sword is there. Keep your swords alive, keep them useful, put them in really annoying positions that make it hard for your enemy to attack you and threaten your enemy off. There's a lot more to talk about with Valder, but I hope this Valder guide helped you, and welcome to Wargroove. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Thanks for watching.